So hello everyone, welcome back. This is your class number 32 and in this class we will complete the animation we left in the previous class and also learn some principles of animations. Okay, so let's quickly jump into After Effects.
My name is Tharun. Video editing has changed my life and it can change yours too. You know, Tharun speaks quality, quantity.
So here we are in the After Effects and this is the intro animation we made in the last class. Okay, so we made around 5 seconds of intro animation and we need to complete it. So let's check the original one. Okay, so in this original one, so whatever the effects and learning required to make this animation, we already learned it. Okay, so let's just check it out. What else do we need, or how can we make the next part of the intro? Okay, so at this point, when this Coca-Cola is removing, this text is revealing. Okay, so for this text we simply need to copy paste that CC jaw effect on this text to reveal in waveform. And at this point, when these notes are pulling out of the frame and this every year is revealing, okay, so we can simply make this every year animation like we did here in Coca-Cola animation, like this. Okay, let's just make it. Okay, so what we need to write, every year. So I selected this Franklin Gothic font. You can use some better font. Okay, so what we want, we need this every year text. For this text effect we need an outline and we need a solid of text with this wavy kind of effect. Okay, so we have this solid text. Now what we can do, we can either use that auto trace effect like we used in Coca-Cola font, or we can do one more thing. We can just duplicate it and we have these two fonts. Let's hide the bottom font. On this above font we want to make it outline only. So here you can see this fill color option from where we change the color, and below it there is this small box which says no fill color. If I click on this, then the fill color is removed and only stroke is visible. And you can also change stroke color by clicking on this stroke color. Okay, and you can also change stroke size by playing with this property. Okay, so we have this outline and we have this solid. Now what we want this solid to show that wavy effect. Okay, so what we can do, we can just CC jaw. Okay, and in this CC jaw we can play with this, make its height small and width a little larger. Okay, and we can do this. Okay, so we have this outline and this solid. Okay, so we now have this same effect. Okay, but here this wave is moving and our wave is not moving. So how can we move this? We just need to simply add keyframe on this center, and after this much frame we can move it like this. So now it is moving. If you increase it more, the effect will be faster, and if you increase it less, then the effect will be slower. Okay, so you can make this effect like this: solid layer, outline, and CC jaw effect on solid layer. Okay, this is how you can make this. And after that, what we want, what we need, see how this text is coming one by one letter, but will never once try to sell on there. Okay, so how we can make this? Simply my name is Neeraj. Okay, let's disable the stroke and make fill color white. Okay, and change it to some simple font like Arial bold or maybe Montserrat bold. ठीक है, ठीक है. So now we have this text and we want this text to appear like this. ठीक है. So what we can do, we'll click on this arrow, go to text properties, and if I click on this animate arrow, if I click here, then there is this thing called opacity, and if I make it 0 it will disappear, and if I make it 100 it will reappear. ठीक है. But if I click over here on this range selector option, ठीक है, then there is this property, end property and start property. ठीक है. And if I make opacity 0 and play with this property like this, so we made start property 0 and end property 100, and if I add keyframe on start property, and after 30 frames I made it 100. ठीक है. So what happened? The text is appearing like this, but we do not want it to come letter by letter, we want it to come word by word. ठीक है. So after every word, like we need to add a keyframe. ठीक है. Here we need to add a keyframe. Here we add a keyframe. Here we add another keyframe. Here we add another keyframe, and here we already have keyframe, and we just need to select all and click toggle keyframe. ठीक है. And we can adjust it, these keyframes, according to ourselves. Like we can adjust it like this. So now this text is coming like this. ठीक है. So this is how you can make that text effect. And after that, product. So product is same like every year. We can make this. Now this bottle is coming like this. We can simply make this effect also. We just need to download a PNG of Coca-Cola bottle, and we can make it like we made the dollar bill effect. ठीक है. So we'll create a composition, add these bottles like this, and these bottles are rotating a little bit, so we need to rotate it a little bit like we rotated these knots. So we can make this effect same like we did in dollar bill. Okay, so you can also do that. And if you see here, the background is blurring when these bottles are coming, so you just need to add an adjustment layer and put Gaussian blur effect over it. Okay, and after that you need to create another composition, and in that composition you need to add a background texture and add these icons with some position and rotation property. And to appear it like this, you simply need to add CC Jaws effect. Okay, let's and simply this is text, and you can simply make this too, this also, this also. Okay, so I believe you can make the full intro yourself. So now this is your assignment, to make the full intro yourself. There is nothing which you need to learn extra to complete this intro. You already know every single thing. Now there is something which you need to know. So in this video, first thing, there is a overlay, like you see this particle, and on this dollar bill, if you see, there is a texture over here. Okay, so what you just need to do, you need to download some texture from Google. Okay, so I downloaded this texture. I will invert its color, so the black becomes white and white becomes black, and I will add this multiply effect on it and make its opacity 10 or 20. Okay, so before, after. So as you can see, this is before and this is after, and if I increase its opacity, it will before, after, before, after. Okay, so we'll make it 20 only, before, after. So you can also add some crumbled paper overlay like this, and simply multiply. So before, after, before, after, before, after, and it is too much, then you can decrease its opacity. It's looking like this. Okay. Now one more thing you can do is what we learned in second class. You can simply add jitter to it, add an adjustment layer. Let's rename it jitter. Okay, and let's add transform effect over this, and if I hold Alt and click on this position, then we have this. Now we'll type wiggle, and in this we'll give it value 1, show 1 and 3. So what this 1 and 3 means, it means 1 means every single frame it will transform one time. If I put 3 here, then it will transform 3 times in a single second. If I put 10 here, then it will transform 10 times in 1 second. And this 3 means it is the value, it is parameter. It will transform by 3 frames only. Okay. So let's add jitter here. So if I increase it, like I increased it 30, so now it is moving this much, but we don't want it to move it this much, so let's make it 2 and 5. And 2 and 5 is also too much, so we'll make it 1 and 3, and we'll also increase its scale so that it won't move out of frame. ठीक है. So complete this intro animation. You learned everything to complete this intro animation. You can complete it. Now let's move to our another topic, which is principle of animation. ठीक है. So if you go on Google, so here you can see 12 principles of animation, and if you can see, if you click over here, then you will see these 12 principles. ठीक है. So we won't discuss all 12 principles. So I will explain only this anticipation and squash and stretch. Ease in, ease out, you already know. ठीक है. But you need to go through all of them. ठीक है. So if you see squash and stretch or anticipation, as you can see from here, the main action is this, to throw a ball. But before throwing the ball, the subject's hand is going like this. Like if I want to throw something, I won't throw it like this, I will throw it like this. ठीक है. Or if I want to jump, I won't jump like I am standing, I won't jump like this, I will first crouch then jump. ठीक है. If I throw something, I will move my hand backward then throw it. Same applies in animation. If you want to show any movement, so before movement you need to show anticipation. ठीक है. And if you want to know more about anticipation, you go to anticipation animation, we'll search it, and Alan Becker. So if you want to know about every principle of animation, you can go to this Alan Becker tutorials on YouTube. You will find every single principles animation on his channel. ठीक है. So like if you see, before hitting the hammer, the character's hand is going like this, and see what I told you, if I want to jump, I will first crouch. Like here, before punching, the hand is moving like this. ठीक है. So how we can do this in After Effects? Let's just create another composition, and after this composition I will add a circle like this, and I will make its position like this, and I will add a keyframe, and after 2 seconds I will again make its position this, and at this midpoint I will change its position to this place. ठीक है. So now this ball is, and let's add endpoint to make it loop. Okay, so the now ball is going like this. If you hold Alt and stretch or move these keyframes like this, the keyframes will change like this. ठीक है. So now it's looping like this. ठीक है. So let's ease in ease out them by pressing F9. ठीक है. Now we'll go to graph, and this graph is speed graph. ठीक है. So let's just make it like this to make it more eased in and eased out. ठीक है. But if we want to use anticipation, we need to change the value from value graph. So how we can use value graph? We need to right click over here on this graph and change it to value graph. ठीक है. Now in this value graph you will see these two lines, red line and green line. ठीक है. So the red line is for x position and green line is for y position, and we only made changes in x position. So only x position line is looking like this, while y position line is straight. So we just right click on this position and separate dimensions. What this separate dimensions will do, it will separate the position properties in x and y value. ठीक है. So x position property is here, y positions property is here. So we don't need any keyframe on y position. So we removed keyframes on y position, and on x position we'll make it eased in. ठीक है. Here you can see this graph is not like speed graph. This is value graph. So how value graph works, you can see this 500, 1000, 1500. This is position value. ठीक है. So at this point the position is 341. So this is 341, and at this point the position is 1645. So you can see 1645, and at this point again 341. So again 341. Here at this point we want it to move slow or rest a little bit. So we will make it like this. ठीक है. Now this is moving like this. Simple. Now this position is moving like this, 341 to 1645. ठीक है. But we want it to move a little back because it is moving in this direction, in right direction. So for anticipation we want this circle to move left a little bit before going to this right side. ठीक है. So we can simply pull this handle in this direction, and when we pull this, now this is going from 341 to 323. So here you can see it is going like this. It is going like this, and we can stretch it even more. So now it is going like this. ठीक है. Same here we can do. ठीक है. So before going right, it is going left a little bit. You can see this. ठीक है. So this is how you can make this anticipation kind of effect. So I'm showing you in this simple ball thing so that you can use it in simple animations. ठीक है. So this is simple anticipation animation. If you feel it's less, then you can add another keyframe. Like you can add another keyframe, and you can do it like this. ठीक है. You can make it even more. ठीक है. So this is how you can make this anticipation kind of animation. ठीक है. So if we compare it, so this is with anticipation animation and this is normal. ठीक है. So this is the difference. Now if we check the second kind of squash and stretch animation, so as I told you, this guy Alan Baker Tutorials, if you go to his channel, so here you can see squash and stretch kind of animation. ठीक है. So this is how squash and stretch work to emphasize the movement. So we'll simply create a bouncing ball animation. ठीक है. So for this bouncing ball animation, we'll start from this top position, and in transform properties, we'll add a keyframe on position and another keyframe on scale. ठीक है. And after 1 second, we'll again add this scale and position keyframe, and at this midpoint we will transform the position to this point. ठीक है. And by hitting U, we'll only see those properties where we added keyframes. ठीक है. So now this is looking like this. ठीक है. What we need to do at this point, when this ball is touching the ground, we need to squash it. ठीक है. So squash it by decreasing its height. ठीक है. So we decreased its height by 20%. But one thing you need to remember is, when you are decreasing its height, you should also increase its width, as the volume should be same. So we also increased its width. ठीक है. So now it's looking like this. ठीक है. At this point it's like this. Let's move it a little. Okay, let's create a rectangle. Change its color to red. So it should be like a ground. ठीक है. ठीक है. So it is going like this and again going like this. ठीक है. Now what we need to do is, we should first add ease in, ease out to it. ठीक है. And what we want is, we want it to hold a little bit at this position and also this position. ठीक है. So let's make it like this. ठीक है. So now ठीक है. So in scale, here at this point it is squashed and at this point it is normal. Now what I want at this point, it should be stretched. So what I'll do, I'll make its width 80% and increase its height to 120%. ठीक है, and same I'll do here at this point. ठीक है, now let's check this. Now it's looking like this. ठीक है, so this is how you use squash and stretch in simple motions, and it will make it so impactful. And how much squash you add, it will show the flexibility of the object. So if I squash it like 95 and 105, then it is looking like a ball. And if I squash it like 50 and 150, then it is looking like a water balloon. ठीक है, so this is how can you use squash and stretch and simple animations. So this is it for today's class. What you need to do is you need to go on Google and check all 12 principles. Go to YouTube and go to this channel, Alan Becker Tutorials, and search for 12 principles of animation, and check all the 12 principles of animation on his channel. ठीक है, now in the next class we will learn 3D camera and rotoscopy. ठीक है, so that is it for today's class. I'll see you in next class. Bye.